I'm Laili. I was born in San Bernardino, and my family is from Iran and Tennessee. My father, his family's been in Tennessee for many generations, and he grew up there. But when he was 18, he knew he was being drafted for the Vietnam War, so he enlisted in the Navy, actually. And even though he couldn't swim, he never learned how to swim, and he was allergic to chlorine. So he was in the Navy, and he was a medic in Vietnam, I believe, for 4 years. Came back to the States and just became a little bit of an anarchist. His name was Robert McCollum, and he just felt strongly that that was a slave name. And so he changed his name to Yusef Samori, and he moved to New York and studied African history in college. And that's where he met my mom, who came from Iran. Her whole family left right around the Islamic Revolution. Some people left a little earlier and some people left later. We do still have some distant cousins and aunts and uncles who are there. She was a ballet dancer, and she'd gone to a dance conservatory and music school and had always been in dance. And even before the revolution, it was sort of borderline taboo. So with the Islamic Revolution, she definitely had to leave. She actually went to Europe first and studied at the Paris Opera House and danced around there a little bit. And then she got into Purchase College, where my dad was studying, and came to New York. And she didn't speak any English. She just got in on a dance admission, and her parents were already in the States at that point, and her siblings, she's 7th of 8 kids, and they were almost all over here. A few were still in Iran and came over later. So she started her life in New York, and she met my dad, and they dated in college, and then she was teaching ballet and dance back east, and they got married and had my brother. And then my grandmother actually got sick. She had breast cancer, and she, my mother's mom, yeah. So they came out to California to see a specialist and have her treatment and everything. And my parents decided to stay in California, and they had me. And then we moved around a lot. We actually moved back east again when I was 7. We lived in upstate New York and in parts of Connecticut. And then we moved to Hawaii because my parents are kind of free spirits, and they were like, you know where's pretty? Hawaii. So we moved there. And I grew up there until I was 18, and that was kind of weird, just being not only the only black person I knew, but definitely the only Middle Eastern person I knew. And that was the first time I really realized how different we were, because in California, I think there's just more of a mix. There's a real melting pot here, and I heard a journalist once describe Hawaii as a salad bowl because there are lettuce and tomatoes and all these things, but nothing is actually mixing. So all of my friends growing up were like 100% Japanese or 100% Chinese, and people didn't mix. And so my family stood out a lot. I remember one time my dad was chaperoning a band trip, and he got stopped on campus. This was when I was maybe a freshman in high school, by the campus security guards because they thought that he was just some scary trespasser. And I was like, that's my dad. Like, I know this is Hawaii, but these are real people, and you've never seen a black person, but we're real. And even in my high school graduating class, there were 2 of us who were black, and there was like 1 token blonde girl. So I was always different. And I came to college here. I went to school at Holy Names in Oakland, and I was like, this feels like home again. You know, there's all kinds of people, there's all kinds of food. I don't have to explain what Persian is or where Iran is. Like, so that always felt better to me. And my mom actually lives here now. She moved here 3 years ago when my father passed. So we have home again, and we're in California again. And so for me, it's come full circle. Not quite for her, but it's nice to be somewhere that feels better. I live here.